It's great to be here. Good to be here in Dubai. Assalamu alaikum. Well, first of all, I want to ask my people here a question. How many of us in this audience are data people? Show of hands. Okay. So for those who are looking at your cell phones, you're not data people. Let's start there. How much of AI do you think we're hearing? Who has heard the word AI too much? We can be honest. Are you tired of hearing about AI? Well, I'm kind of tired of hearing the buzz around AI. I'm kind of tired of hearing about how AI is a game changer, how AI will completely change the way we live and work, because in reality, it's a fact. We don't need to say it over and over and over again. But what is less known is that if we don't start leading AI, AI will start leading us. If we don't start shaping AI as a community, as a business community, as a political community, as leaders in this space, we are going to very quickly learn that AI will shape the world for us, and we are not going to like it. So if we think about how AI is being used today, we are using it to automate. We are using it to do little things. You know, we saw the advent of ChatGPT in November 2022, and that completely changed us. Now, instead of Google searching, we're putting in ChatGPT, hey, find me the best places, or hey, write me a blog. Couldn't do that before. And that's wonderful. But the reality is, we hear about things like AI being used for some criminal activity by bad actors. Is that really what we want to see for our children and our grandchildren in the future? So how do we lead AI? The question that I kept asking myself is, where were we a decade ago, and where are we today? So just to give you a quick introduction about myself, I used to be head of global data insights at IBM Watson. And the way I like to position this is I was in AI before AI went mainstream, before people learned about AI in their businesses and in their lives. And so my take is a little bit more practical, a little bit more fundamental, a little bit more down to earth. So when we think about AI, and I'm going to move out of the way so you can see the slide. When we think about AI, I think it's three categories, three waves that we have seen. Number one is the traditional wave, which is where we started hearing about, oh, we can actually leverage AI for some analytics. We can use AI for some levels of automation of manual tasks. Maybe AI will help us predict a little bit better. But we were not there yet. We thought AI was a nice toy. Yes, it's a nice to have. Wonderful. Classical AI. Then November 2022 happened, and all of a sudden, everybody learned about the word artificial intelligence. That's generative AI. And today, we use AI to generate content, to produce music, to create art. Actually, if you visit Sennen's booth, much of the images that are created using artificial intelligence. And there is a reason for that. It is because we are a data and AI company. And we wanted to use the technology that we profess to enable. So we moved into generative AI, and the third wave really is agentic AI. How do we leverage a cluster of AI agents to do our work more efficiently and maybe reach the next level of automation? So we are slowly progressing as humanity to capitalize on the power of AI. But I think when I think about my days back in 2012, 2014 even, I think about one question, and it's this. What is AI anyway? How many of us can really say we know the definition of AI? Maybe one person. I saw one hand raised. And I think if we were to be honest, we really don't know what artificial intelligence means. Is it a technology? Is it going to be a game changer where AI is going to become all Skynet-ish and we're going to be shaped and led and governed by AI? Is it going to lead us? Is it going to master us? Is it going to be in service of humanity? Where are we going? What is AI? And so I spent hours and hours and hours thinking about this question because it is a rather fundamental question that us as a business community and business leaders and people who have kids and grandkids, we need to answer this question. And here's what I think. When we think about AI, we actually have a look back, and there is something with my clicker. We actually have a look back in time. Every single piece of information of humanity at this point has possibly been fed in artificial intelligence models, or is going to be fed in an artificial intelligence model. This means that this is a fantastic mirror of who we are as humans. And if I look at it that way, then it really opens up a very interesting possibility. If a technology can tell us about who we are, can we leverage it to tell us about what we can do? How we can do it? How we can do it better? How we can do it faster? And possibly even think about things that we haven't thought of. So if anybody is in data and analytics, you will know these phrases. You have descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and you have the last phase, which is prescriptive analytics. And we all know that we have gotten very, very good with predictive, but we have not yet reached prescriptive. Prescriptive being, what is the best course of action I can possibly take given what's going on and what might happen in the future? So if I look at it that way, and if I say we've moved from Stone Age to the world of possibilities, what does that actually look like? What does AI do for us? I position AI as a strategic partner for humanity. I'm not going to say it is going to take over the world. I'm not going to run into any doomsday possibilities here, but I will say this. In the near future and in the midterm future, 100% we can make AI a strategic partner for us. In our businesses, in our communities, in governments, in any sector that you're in. And the way that we do this is one of four ways. Number one is we can complement what we are doing. Being, if I am in customer service and I need to pull up a list of products while I'm on the phone with the customer that say, oh, well, how many of your products are vegan? Well, maybe AI can help me list how many of our products are vegan immediately, right off the bat, so I can rattle them off to the customer. I can compensate for lack of abilities through AI. If I lack an analytical toolkit, skill set, can AI possibly help me develop that analytical muscle? With some tools, you can today. So you don't have to have an entire analytics team. You can have a very pared down analytics team, but at the same time have the same level of accuracy that you would if you had 50 analysts working for you. Can we amplify what we have? Can we get better? Can we get more efficient? Can we get more automated? We are already there. And the last piece, which is always a little bit more controversial, is can we replace? And this is something that I want to be careful with in my messaging, because this is what I truly believe and I'm passionate about, is if we are replacing a job, which is invariable and inevitable, We as the business community need to make sure that we upskill and reskill people so that we are not losing society and humanity as a whole. This is, if you take anything away from this presentation, this would be it. So how do we lead AI? If we think about the context that I just shared, what are the fundamental basics of what we need to do, where we need to be, and what we need to consider to lead AI? A technology that is nascent, a technology that we don't understand, a technology that is still evolving, and a technology that can go any which way, shape, or form in the next 10 years. We don't know, we cannot predict where AI is going to end up. So what do we do to lead AI? Because frankly, I don't want to be a servant to AI. I am a human, I will remain a human, and I will always want AI to serve me. So if I ask that question, I came up with 3 fundamental basics that I would focus on if I wanted AI to serve me in my business, in my personal life, and in my society and community. Number 1 is I would move from data poverty to data excellence. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. When I think about data poverty, I mean about the amounts of massive data, structured, unstructured, semi-structured, that I am sitting on that I could leverage and move to actionable insight. That is what I call data excellence. Can I leverage every single piece of non-obsolete data to some level, to some degree, to get an insight that will move me to the next level of either predictive or even prescriptive action? That is what I mean by data excellence. And again, if we want to talk more about that, I am around offline for that. Secondly, future-focused infrastructure. I hear a lot about, hey, what AI models can we use? What AI tools and what AI solutions can we use? I would recommend thinking about infrastructure as a whole. Forget about tools. Look at the landscape. Look at the ecosystem that you are building with AI in your businesses. I would not focus on tools. I would focus on the integrated being the keyword, fabric that you're building in your business around technology. So my CIOs, my CTOs, my CDOs, my CAIOs, and everybody in between, I would highly recommend taking a clear look at the infrastructure and seeing, is this working for us today? Fantastic, I'm sure it is. But the question is this going to work for us 5 years down the road? How do you start predicting that? That is the key to leading AI. There are ways, there are approaches, there are frameworks that allow us today to start with strategic foresight on how to build an infrastructure that will pave the way for AI excellence, not just data excellence, but AI excellence in the future. And the companies that lock that down are the ones that are going to pioneer, and those are the ones that are going to lead. So that's the second piece. And the third piece is AI literacy to AI savvy. There's a difference between literacy and savviness. Literacy means I'm going to use ChatGPT in my company. AI savviness means I should be careful using ChatGPT in my company because there might be a cybersecurity issue that may pop up. There might be a data privacy issue that might pop up. I may not be in the right industry to start using ChatGPT and unleash that in my employee base. That is AI savvy. How do we look at the risk, the future, and the value that we want to get out of AI? And how do we make our employee base, our customer base, our partner base, our ecosystem itself, our community, literate in a way that every single decision that is made around AI is clearly in a very absolute fashion distilled around value, around risk, and around the ROI that you're getting from your action. So with all 3 of these, there is something that I have missed. And that is having a strategic mindset. For me, everything, all of this is wonderful. But if you do not have a strategy for your future, and I'm not just talking about your business, but as you, as an individual, if you don't have a strategy for yourself, for your career path, for where you need to be in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, if you're not looking at trends and where AI is going, where data is going, where the industries are moving to, given the technological disruption, you are missing the mark. So the biggest piece of advice that I can give here, if we want to lead AI and if we want to lead humanity in general, is let's create a strategy. In our businesses, for sure, but in our personal lives and in our communities that allow us to say, how can we use AI to serve us instead of shape us? And I will end with one anecdote. A company that we were working with came to us and said, we want you to help us build a customer service chatbot. Wonderful. We did it. It's not a difficult thing. I'm sure many of us do that. The trouble is their strategic objective was to raise their customer satisfaction score and their NPS score. It didn't work. They deployed the chatbot and they thought, well, maybe if we deploy the chatbot, things will get easier. People will get answers at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. They won't have to wait. They won't have to talk to a human being. They'll get answers right then and there. So they'll save time and energy and they'll be happy. It didn't work that way. Do you know why? Because people want to talk to people. They can get answers, but when things get complicated, humans always need other humans. So all of this is great, but what I want to focus on is how can we make our lives human-centric? That is what we do at Sennen. That is what I personally believe in. That is my philosophy and my approach. And the reason why this conversation is important to me is because I want, in this world where everybody says we want to be data-driven, we want to be AI-centric, we want to be AI first, I want to shift focus back on people. I want to shift focus back on humans. And I want to say and ask the question, what can I do for you as a human leveraging data and AI instead of how can I help you with data and AI? There is a difference in that question, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Take care, guys.